This is 3 News Daily.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to 3 News Daily on this Tuesday, June 6th. I'm Stephanie Haney here with what matters most to you in Northeast Ohio. And today the search continues for an Akron man suspected of raping 2 12-year-old girls. The Northern Ohio Violent Fugitive Task Force says John White is wanted on several charges, including rape. Akron police say he ran after a 16-year-old was found inside his home and that he's known to spend time in the Cleveland and Akron areas. So if you have any information about where John White might be, please contact the U.S. Marshals at the number on your screen. Tips can remain anonymous, and there is reward money available for the person who helps authorities find him. Turning now to developing news from the Cleveland Browns. According to a police report, 3 Browns players were robbed over the past few days, and 2 of them were robbed at gunpoint. 3 News has now learned that the 2 players robbed at gunpoint were Greg Newsome II and Perrion Winfrey. They were together, and they reported parking a truck in the lot next to Filter Bar and Lounge on Superior Avenue early Monday morning. 6 men in masks allegedly jumped out of a separate car and attacked them, taking jewelry and other things from them. Now, thankfully, neither of those players were hurt. And also on Sunday, Cleveland Browns running back and wide receiver Demetric Felton reported having his 2023 Dodge Durango Hellcat stolen out of the Maze parking garage. We'll have more information on both of these stories tonight. Now we have an update in the apparent road rage shooting on I-76 in Norton. The suspect, 30-year-old Dakari Kennard, was in court this morning and was denied bond for the second time. Kennard was arraigned in court on Saturday, and that's when the judge denied him bond for the first time. So now Kennard will stay in the Summit County Jail until the case is sent to a grand jury. Also in another court, the Lorain County woman accused of pepper spraying the principal and assistant principal of Elyria Elementary School has been indicted. Jessica Howes is charged with felonious assault and misdemeanor trespassing. The 27-year-old is accused of yelling and swearing at workers at the school before using the pepper spray. Now, as of now, no court date has been set for her. Turning now to talk about your health. People have been raising the question, is COVID causing a rise in pink eye cases? And that answer might be a little more complicated than you might think. We usually see more pink eye cases in the winter, but it seems to be popping up a lot right now. Our senior health correspondent, Monica Robbins, reports that the pandemic is not the only thing to blame.
We'd love to blame COVID for everything, and to an extent, it's possible it may be responsible for some cases of pink eye. And yes, it is a main symptom of the latest COVID variant, XBB 1.16, or Arcturus. But we can't blame the pesky pandemic for everything.
There are a lot of respiratory viruses, and most of them can cause pink eye.
According to the Ohio Department of Health, Arcturus makes up about 12% of Ohio's current variants. That doesn't mean everyone tested had conjunctivitis. The pandemic actually shifted our viral seasons, meaning we usually see pink eye surge in the winter months, but we're seeing it earlier now.
Because we are seeing different viruses all at the same time, we're probably seeing more pink eye because there are a lot of these circulating viruses around, including this new variant.
Not to mention other things can cause pink eye too.
But distinguishing bacterial causes from viral causes is not always easy, and there's always allergic things that can cause pink eye as well.
What we do know is how easily it spreads.
When somebody has pink eye, it's very contagious to other people. And so you tend to see pink eye spread from person to person. Like, that's a very normal thing to have happen.
Thanks for that info, Monica. And that's a good reminder to keep your fingers out of your eyes, nose, and mouth, and wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. That's what Monica Robbins would say. Now that school's out for a lot of kids, hopefully there'll be fewer cases because less kids in small spaces sharing those germs. All right, our question of the day is also health related today. Ticks are especially bad this season for humans and dogs. So we want to know, what are your tips for checking for ticks? Post your comment to the WKYC Facebook page. We'll talk about it during What's New at 4 o'clock. I would love to know these tips because I'm always worried that Oscar is going to get a tick. Okay, University Hospitals is giving free lunches to kids in Northeast Ohio this summer, another summer-related story, which is wonderful. This will be at 6 locations. The UH Kids Summer Lunch Program is for any kid ages 1 through 18, and those free lunches will be there Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. There's no income check or requirement for this. The lunches are free to any kid who wants one that shows up. You just have to eat the meals on site. None of those meals can be taken to go. There is one exception at Rainbow Babies and Children's. That's on Fridays. You can take it to go, but you do have to show some income proof for that. Now yesterday, the first energy signs started coming down from the home of the Cleveland Browns. That stadium naming rights partnership ended earlier this year. It was after First Energy admitted to bribing former Ohio House Speaker Larry Householder, who has been convicted of racketeering. This was all tied to House Bill 6, which First Energy bribed Householder to get passed and bail out 2 nuclear power plants. So now the stadium will go back to its old name and be called the Cleveland Browns Stadium, with no First Energy signs up in there. And this morning, Cleveland city officials unveiled their master plan for the future of downtown, so people who live here can expect to see increased safety. There'll be more police officers, better social services, and improved lighting in the area. The motivation for all of this is improving the downtown experience, leading to engaging and active community through community events and better access to the lakefront. So leaders hope to improve the economy in the area by bringing in more retailers and installing digital street parking meters. Coming up tonight, our own Kira Cotton will dive into the details included in that plan. And last night, the city of Cleveland approved its first permanent outdoor drinking area. It was a unanimous vote to turn East 4th Street in the heart of downtown into a place where you can walk around with those adult beverages outside of the bars and restaurants. Lena Live shows us how this is a part of a bigger plan for the entertainment district.
The dining, entertainment, and residential district is about to get a shot in the arm after getting hit hard by the pandemic. Cleveland City Council passed the city's first permanent outdoor drinking area, otherwise known as a DORA, or Designated Outdoor Refreshment Area, for the East 4th Street corridor.
Big city. I think every city should have something like that.
Patrons will be allowed to have alcohol in these designated plastic cups while outside the bars and restaurants every day from noon until 2 a.m. The area's boundaries will be marked off by these signs, and restaurants would no longer need fencing around its patios, replacing it with planters.
We have to, by statute, we have to focus on the security of the neighborhood.
Since being approved by the state in 2015, there are nearly 100 DORAs throughout the state, including in Shaker Heights, Akron, and Canton. However, not everyone is convinced that loosening open container laws on East 4th Street is a good thing.
So I'm not sure yet how I feel about that, but I think it would be good for business, but it could definitely potentially lead to some dangerous situations.
The East 4th DORA is just part of a $1.65 million plan to create an area filled with pop-up merchants, a canopy, and public art, the start of what's hoped to be a recharge in the post-pandemic world. Lena Lai, 3 News.
That will be fun to see. And I got to tell you, some other items that City Council tackled last night include allocating $5 million to help the city's Habitat for Humanity program. They also approved allocating nearly $50 million in American Rescue Plan Act money to help housing payments for families and seniors, to help make sure that their housing needs are taken care of. Lots of good stuff happening here in the city of Cleveland. I got to tell you, one thing I'm very excited about are those new parking meters. Having lived downtown for 2 years, I think that is a much welcome addition to residents and visitors, and will hopefully get more people out here to downtown Cleveland. We'd love to see that. Thanks for being with us for today's edition of 3 News Daily. We'll see you back here tomorrow with more of your top stories from Northeast Ohio. Everybody have a beautiful Tuesday.